Welcome in to another episode of the My Two Bits Gators Football Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ben, joined as always by your other host, Mr. Randy. Randy, how we doing? How we feeling? How's the depression level?
Good evening. Depression level is all right. It's just one of those things where you look back and you go, the one that got away. The one that got away.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I mean, the one, the two, the three. How many times did it get away, though? That's the problem. Good grief. Oh,
Too many
man.
to count. I can't count that high.
Talking about slipping through your fingers. Like, it was like having I don't know, a slippery popsicle without a way to grab it, without anything to grab onto. Man, good grief. Though,
Creamsicle? Is that what it was?
yeah,
Creamsicle?
something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That was just impossible. I don't even have the right analogy for that, but just slip sliding all over the place and anywhere but in the goal. So anyway, to that end, let's get started. Let's talk about it. Let's do some therapy and get through this session. I mean, there are definitely some really positive things to talk about from this game, which is what in some ways makes it better, but then in other ways makes it worse. So we'll break it all down. We'll go through it all, and I think overall it'll be good. And of course, as always, it'll be therapeutic. So we'll start things off as we always do with our intro. We'll talk through our mission, our vision, and our agenda. Our mission is always to provide factual analysis of all things Florida Gator football. Our vision is to have unfiltered conversation around the product on the field, as well as recruiting and overall coaching decisions. Our analysis will always be based on a review of film, and while we will express opinion, that opinion should always be based in some form of fact. We will also evaluate strategy and tactics and discuss our observation of player personnel decisions, as well as on-field execution. So for our agenda, as always, we'll start things off with our exciting plays section with Oh My, and then we'll proceed on to our offensive review in the Chomp segment, then talk a little defense with Gator Bait, and then talk about our complaints for the game. I might have a couple of those this week with Visor Throw. Yeah. It's going to get a little dirty tonight. Then we'll talk a little recruiting with hatchlings, or lack of recruiting, as it might be. And we'll talk the culture segment with Pride of the Sunshine, see how things are going there. Talk a little officiating with Move Back You Suck. And then wrap things up with a state of the program, kind of look where we are with the analysis of that, play another round to keep it or pitch it for this week with Kentucky, and talk through the sim notes from NCAA 25 about the Kentucky game as well, and then do our sign off to close things out. So to that end, let's get things started, talk about a little excitement from the game. We did have plenty of that, actually. So get us started, Randy. What you got for Home My this week?
All right, B. So I'll do my best. I'm not going to sneak in 4, 5, 6, or 7 on you. But I'll keep it short. I'll keep it sweet because one of them is a combo. One of them is a combo. So I'll just say that. Montrell played truck driver. Okay.
Yeah,
trucking the safety corner, whoever he was roadkill on his way to a 23-yard one. Beautiful run. Montrell, we know him as a little bit of a bigger back, not as much with the finesse and the speed in that first step, but I love seeing that anytime on a Saturday. Phenomenal run, phenomenal truck, and gave us a good bit of energy. So that was fantastic. I've said this a couple times, and I'm going to say it again. It's almost going to be like a catchphrase: DJ to DK. In this particular instance, it was on a 3rd and 18 with 30 seconds to go in the game for the touchdown.
Kind of a big play.
Kinda. It was on an absolute rope, and he fit it right into that window where it needed to be. A phenomenal throw. So that was a massive oh my, because of the touchdown, because it gave us an opportunity to go for it, well, to tie the game, whatever you want to call it.
We'll get to that later.
We'll get to it later. I know, B. I know. We'll get to it later. And the last thing that I'm going to throw in there, and for the record, B, there's about 3 more I had that were competing for this spot. I'm just going to call out real quick Shamir DK. Back-to-back punt returns of 25 plus yards.
Yeah.
Okay. A massive punt that helped us flip the field. But at the end of the day, I mean, The first one was phenomenal because that went for 32. But at the end of the day, 2 punts returned, 57 yards, 28.5 punt return average. Oh, and if you all did not know, fun fact, Shamir DK is number 2 in the nation. 8 returns, 157 yards, 19.6 average behind some guy from South Alabama. So Shamir DK bringing the return back to the punting game, the kicking game. Phenomenal job there. Jukin and Jivin helping us to flip the field. Those are my top 3B.
I love it. I love it. And I love the Chim call out on those punt returns. They were phenomenal. You know, it's funny, man. He doesn't look crazy fast on those returns, but he just glides. I mean, he doesn't look slow, don't get me wrong, but he just glides. He just seems to just move around defenders with such ease. It's really impressive to watch. I love watching him return. I got a feeling he's going to make our prediction about taking one to the house come true. And I know that wasn't one we ended up keeping, or maybe we did keep it. I can't remember. But either way, I think it's going to happen. And I'm going to love it when I see it because I think he's going to do it. He's really, really fun to watch, man.
Yes.
So love those. Good stuff. I have 2 of the same, unsurprisingly. But my third one, again, got to give love to the defense, man. Got to give love to the defense. They were special. They were special on Saturday. God, they were good. So I had to call out the Sharif INT late in the second quarter. Beautiful play. Did a phenomenal job of sinking underneath, reading the quarterback's eyes, and making a great play on the ball. Nico never even saw him. Just perfect textbook play in that zone coverage. What I love even more maybe is that I could have picked about 10 other plays on defense to go with as well for an Omai. Just a phenomenal performance by the defense. Obviously, we'll get to it when we talk Gator bait, but man, what a great play by the defense. So that's my first one. I will agree with you on the second, the Montrell run. Oh, buddy, what a great run. He hits the hole. He does a little shimmy and looks like he's trying to get, fancy with it or something. Then he's like, nah, I'm just going to run you over. And absolutely dump trucks the safety or the corner. I think it was a safety, but man, did he level that dude. I mean, guy never knew what hit him. He just kept right on going like he wasn't even there. Absolutely phenomenal. Great run. And then, of course, he goes and gets hurt. And not of any fault of his own. As they mentioned, it was borderline a hip drop tackle, which is, of course, what took Joe Mixon out in the NFL, recently. And he just came back from. Hopefully Johnson is not out that long, but I'd be surprised if he comes back this week. Unfortunately, we will miss him. I'm really bummed to see him get hurt. I don't necessarily think he's been the perfect back for us with this O-line and the situation that it's been, but man, he was great on Saturday because they were getting some holes for him and he was plowing the field. Man, 85 yards in about 2.5 quarters? Jeez.
Pretty much.
That's pretty impressive stuff. So really, really solid. And then my last one, as you said, DJ to DK. I love it. I'm going to keep it going. Really, really good stuff. What a route by DK. Man, did he break the safety's ankles on that thing. Had him going the complete wrong direction. Phenomenal. And then DJ, pocket presence, steps up on the move, throws, as you said, a laser, but not too much of a laser that it didn't get over the outstretched arm of the linebacker. Right. And it's on time, on target. And then you factor in, to your point, 30 seconds left, crowds going nuts in Knoxville, in Neyland, crazy pressure, crazy amount of, stuff on that moment with the crowd noise. I mean, are you kidding me? Who is this kid? I mean, unbelievable. We know he's got talent, but this goes beyond talent in so many different ways. I mean, there's so many angles to look at this. It's just mind-blowing. The ceiling is just, I don't know where it is. It's certainly higher than the roof, though, for those that get that joke.
Oh, wow.
Just really, really, really amazing stuff that he put out there. Having thrown that pick when he first came in after Graham, to bounce back from that, to show all that poise, and we'll talk about more of that later. And while I am just sick for Graham, I mean, what a way to have that end. For those that don't know, he tore his ACL turning his leg sideways on the turf. I mean,
Unreal.
brutal. Never want to see that happen that way. Never want to see it really happen at all. But in the same breath, on the other side of that coin, and again, this has nothing to do with Grant, but I am excited to see Lagway get the ball for the rest of the season and what he can do with it. I am genuinely excited to see that. Nothing about the reason why. Couldn't be less excited for that, but really excited for what we get to see. So, to that end, let's talk a little offense and about what we think maybe we can do better with Lagway in there, hopefully. Though I think it's still going to be an uphill battle, unfortunately, because of some things that are just not going to improve, as we can see. So, first things first, let's talk numbers. Mertz and Lagway QB rating was only a 91.02. As you all know who listen, we use the NFL QB rating here. Anything above 100 is good. So 91.02 is not what we would call good. It's slightly below average. But the reason for that has to do with the fact that the yards per attempt was a little down. The completion percentage was a little down. DJ had some missed throws there because of the pressure he was under for quite a while there. And then we had, of course, the one interception. So that all those things I'll bring that down a little bit. Yards per carry. Now, I took Mertz out because I always take Mertz out. However, he actually had a positive yardage gain in this, but it still did bring the yards per carry up just a smidge from where we were, even taking him out because of the sacks in there as well, even though DJ had some sacks also. So overall, if I had taken them both out, it would have gone over 4 yards per carry if it was just the running backs, just so you know. But I included DJ because he's still a running quarterback, and we count running quarterbacks just like we'll count Iamaliava in a minute here in their numbers. So our number, without Mertz, 3.63 yards per carry. So respectable, not quite where you want it, but not bad, especially for being on a road against a solid Tennessee defense. I mean, they were, top 5 in a lot of defensive metrics, right? I mean, really, really good. So overall offensively, though, it's here we go again. Finding ways to not take advantage of golden opportunities time and time and time again. Oh, man, this was hard to watch at points. Really hard to watch. While we did some things effectively, right, move the ball between the 20s pretty well, pretty consistently, pretty often. In the first half, we had 3 trips to the red zone, and we got 3 points. Yikes. That's a yikes. That's completely unacceptable and 100% cost us the game, period. End of story. No questions asked. If it was 17-0 at halftime, like it should have been, or at an absolute minimum 13-0, 2 field goals and a touchdown, which without question it should have been. And I know Mertz fumbling was kind of a fluky thing, but it still just can't happen. And in fairness, that's not a play call failure per se. I question having Mertz do it a little, but nonetheless, even if that doesn't work, you don't expect him to fumble. I do get that. But the fourth down call with Trey running the jet sweep yet again, we know teams are cued in on that. Miami showed that. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And you keep doing the same boneheaded stuff. Billy, come on. I mean, just keep giving us reasons, man. Just keep giving us reasons. I don't know what to say anymore. Play calling just continues to be so conservative for the majority of snaps. Yes, there are exceptions. There are exceptions. That throw to DK on, at the end of the game there to get us the touchdown. That was an exception. That was a very creative route. I liked the concept. I loved it against the zone. I liked what else was going on that play. Now, DJ made a heck of a play on that to make that happen because the pocket was collapsing around him. He had to step up and make a great throw, but the play design was not garbage. I'll say that. So there are times where it's okay, but it's so few and far between that you can't just, strike lightning 3, 4, 5 times in a game and expect to win when the rest of your stuff is, I don't know, lukewarm water. You can't do it. It's not going to get it done. Again, Lagway just showed tremendous toughness in a very hostile environment on the road in the SEC. Great to see yet more evidence of both his poise and, of course, his talent. I mean, that I can't say enough about. That's the positive takeaway for me without question. Again, can't wait to see what he can do from here on out. And so I'll try to end this on a positive note because most of it I don't have a lot of positives to say there. And I will say the O-line, while inconsistent, was able to decently run block at times and decently pass block for at least the first half. The second half pass blocking got suspect when Tennessee started doing some different stuff with blitzes and stunts and stuff. They really started to struggle more. I would have liked to see, once again, Lagway get rolled out of the pocket more, use his agility, his athleticism, right? Don't just have him sit back there like he is Graham, because he's not. And he was getting put under pressure almost immediately because of what Tennessee was mixing up and doing. You know, they made some nice second half adjustments. Shocker, we didn't. Oh, yeah, surprise, surprise. So there you go. That's my breakdown on offense. What you got?
Overall, B, very good, very complete per usual. I really can't add a whole lot more than that. It's tough. It's tough because you go down there and you feel like you have this golden opportunity, right? Or should I say creamsicle opportunity, whatever you want to call it.
Creamsicle. Very nice.
Very nice. You know, we just had, obviously the numbers were the numbers. The line was the line. Okay. As far as what we were up against, underdogs, no problem. Top 10 team in the nation, no problem. Of course, they had a little stutter against Arkansas. But when you consider 101,915 people in attendance in Neyland for a checker game, it was kind of nuts. It was kind of nuts. And so I will say, outside of play calling, outside of penalty, outside of anything else, they did not let that 101,915 get to them. From a procedural standpoint, I thought we would have had more procedural penalties, to be honest.
Yeah, 3, right? 3 false starts. 3. Well, and 1 delay game technically, but that was because he was coming in trying to get the play call. So I guess it was 4, right? Is that correct?
Correct. But I mean, we had 6 penalties. Tennessee had 6 penalties, and Tennessee is actually a little bit more heavily penalized than us, right? So we had 36 yards. They had 47 yards.
Yep.
Not terrible.
No,
but definitely,
not at all.
It was awesome to see Graham come in and handle that 101,000 and just, okay, the crowd's going nuts, and Graham just like, okay, this is what we do, right?
Yeah, he was super cool for sure. Cool as a cucumber.
He was, and that's why I think it's really crucial for DJ to see that. Great call on his interception. You know what? That's just youth and inexperience as far as the interception he threw.
Yep, that's 100%.
Okay, they came across, never saw, but Denson, to your point, and oh my, Denson played it perfectly, perfect bracket, perfect zone, dipped under, never saw him. Boop. We just happened to give it up. So it's odd. We give up an interception for interception, then we give up a fumble for a fumble in the red zone. Weird.
Yeah, it was weird. Both,
right?
You're right. Both in the red zone, and the interceptions were similar yard lines too.
Yeah, 6 yards off, exactly. So really, really kooky. Really, it is. It is Halloween, or it is October. We're close there, so whatever. Red zone scoring, 3 out of 6. Notably, 0 for the first 4. Wow, really.
I mean,
just unreal, right?
I mean, just wasted.
Exactly, wasted. And here's the other thing too, folks. Does Billy have some good plays up his sleeve? Sure. Okay. Yeah, no problem. But here's the catch. As B and I have talked about before, it's not the fact of the play call. A good signal caller is not just about the call. It's about the timing of the call.
Yep.
And when you have a 4th and 1, when you have a quarterback as big as DJ Lagway, don't get cute with a jet. Don't get cute with the jet sweep.
Especially not a jet sweep that's been seen on film and defined by, recognizable by defenses clearly across the board. Everywhere. Yep.
Right? Everywhere. Okay. So I'm going to read off some stats, because B did a great job with the technical breakdown. Okay. And when you look at these stats, you're like, okay, Florida's got this, right? It's a victory. First downs, Florida 22, Tennessee 18. Net yards rushing, Florida 138, Tennessee 143. Net yards passing, Florida 223, Tennessee 169. Total offensive yards, Florida 361 to Tennessee's 312. Even better, folks, plays, snaps. Okay,
Yeah,
Tennessee, hurry up
the
offense,
thing that we've been horrible at all year.
tempo, right? Go figure. We have more snaps than Tennessee, 72 to 69. What?
First time over 70 all year, I believe.
All year, B, 100% correct. Okay. Here's the other thing, right? Last year we were great with time of possession, slow cuts, right? This year we've struggled with time of possession. Guess what? Time of possession. Florida 34-56 to Tennessee's 25-04.
Crushed them.
What? Right? First quarter, it was pretty even. 7-7.
Yep.
Third quarter, pretty even. 7 and change. Second quarter, we held the ball for 10:33 when they had 4:27. What? In the fourth quarter, we held the ball 9:10. They had 5:50.
Yep.
Couldn't take advantage, B. We couldn't.
Yep. Nope. Time and time
Third
again.
down, again, third down conversions. We had 5 for 15. They had 4 for 15.
Yep.
And again, like we mentioned, 3 of 6 red zone scoring chances for the whole game. Tennessee was 3 of 3. So here's the thing. You look at those stats, you go, wow, Florida had a really good chance. Florida could have pulled this off. Yes, they could have. And that was the toughest thing to see happen, is the fact that we really had a legitimate shot. Because that defense, B, you said it, that defense came in there and played their tails off. It looked like a completely different defense than games 1 through 4. Completely.
Yep. Dating back to last week now, everything since the bye, well, all 2 games of it, but the defenses look different. So, yeah. Speaking of defense, assuming that covers you for offense, let's move on to Gator Bait.
Let's go.
All right, get us started.
Well, so here's the thing about defense, I will say. Phenomenal job, guys. Nico Iamaleava, for those of you who are wondering, 6 syllables. Total QBR, 64.42. Well below our duo of Mertz and Lagway at 91.02, but 64.42, he struggled. Yards per carry, 3.33. But at the end of the day, I get it. He's a freshman, red shirt, whatever you call it, big SEC start. We did say that last week as far as what's going to happen with his mental game, right? Is he going to be prepared for under the lights? Well, he sort of showed up. Sort of. Who really showed up was our defense. That put pressure on him all night. And I tell you what, Tennessee is averaging 44 points a game. 44 points a game. And we literally come in there and squeak them out to the point where they are shut out in the first half. Phenomenal job. Denson, great coverage for the interception. Perfect position right into the receiver. That was great. Pup with a big bite, big paw, big fumble recovery on Iamaleava. Phenomenal awareness for him to just get down, get on the ball, take it over. You know, B, one thing that surprised me about Pup, he's bigger than I think people realize.
He's huge, man.
Right? Big guy.
Like,
takes up a
lot. Ain't he like 6'3" or something?
That's why I thought it was 6'2", but he lists closer to 6'4". It's like 6'3.5", 6'4". Like, okay.
Yeah.
But he's just
big boy.
Wide-shouldered, big kid, you know?
Yeah.
So anyways, that was great. Tennessee did okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna go. I'll get to that in a second. Tennessee's third possession at the end of the first quarter, going into the second quarter. This would have been an oh my that I would have tried to sneak in there, but 3 sacks in a row. 3 sacks in a row.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
It's a shame we finished with 3 sacks total, but those 3 in a row were feasting on that drive. Phenomenal. Held Tennessee to 143 rushing yards, 169 passing yards. 312 total yards.
Yep.
On a top 4 ranked offense in the nation coming
Yep.
in. Phenomenal.
Top 5 in total offense, I believe, and top 4 in rushing.
Bingo. Tennessee didn't score until 4 minutes, 39 seconds left in the third quarter.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. If you're hearing my tone, if you didn't see the game, if we started with the defense first, you're going, that was a hell of a game. They did win. 4 of 15 on third down. Should have. 4 of 15 on third down for 26.7%. And I'll tell you what, when you look at the overall players on defense as far as scheme, we got so much push up front, it wasn't even funny. Like I said, completely different defense, completely different tone of the line, the way they broke off the ball, the way they pushed, the way that their feet moved. It was something different. It was absolutely something different. Couple of shout outs here. Jaden Robinson, welcome to the big SEC spotlight. What a game.
Yep.
What a game. 7 total tackles, 4 solo, 3 assisted. All right. 1.5 tackles for a loss on 7 yards.
Yep.
1.5 sacks.
Yeah.
Phenomenal job. Jack Pyburn, I think, is one of the unsung, unspoken heroes on this line. What he's been able to do, as B mentioned previously, coming off ACL surgery last year, 7 total tackles, 3 solo, 4 assisted, half tackle for loss. Phenomenal job. Grayson, all right, Pup and Castell and Banks all tied, right, for 6 tackles. But either way, phenomenal job by the defensive line to get the push, to get the emphasis, to create some pressures. I love what they did as far as mixing things up. The movement was phenomenal. And the other thing is they really got this young quarterback, as talented as he is, as much arm talent as he has, but they really were able to contain him and to contain this Tennessee offense, and not to mention their top running back, who's a top 7 running back in the nation.
Yeah.
Samson
top 5, I think. Top 5, right? I think.
Samson really didn't have a chance to get going. I mean, yeah, sure, he got touchdowns later in that fourth quarter to put him ahead, but outside of that, he really had no space to get going, and that was great to see the containment. So overall, regardless of the result, the best overall, I would say, the best overall effort result by the defense, especially given Tennessee's offensive potential. So that's what I got on the defensive side of the football. B, what do you have?
Yeah, absolutely. I could not agree more. I love it. I think that's fantastic breakdown analysis there. I'm going to say a lot of the same stuff you just said, but I'm going to say it again because it needs to be said. We don't get to talk overly positively a lot about things very often. So I'm going to take the opportunity when I get it. Defense came to play again. A lot of these notes, actually, I didn't even have to retype from last week. No, they're very similar in a lot of ways, but actually in a lot of ways it's even better, and that's what's really cool. I still can't call it a perfect performance. Obviously, we saw some things out there that weren't what you could call perfect. There were certainly some things that were missed a little bit, but overall, it was absolutely stellar, and it was actually even better than last week. And once again, it was just great to watch. I said that last week, and it was true again this week. I mean, I had fun watching this defense play the entire game, even when they did get a score. You know, as Randy said, 44 points a game this team is averaging. They got 17 in regulation. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? And nothing in the first half? Cold shutout at Neyland in the first half? What? Wow. I mean, absolutely amazing. So one of the things we called for, we talked about it prior to the game, is we wanted to see Florida come out in the 3-3-5 tight, right? That's what we wanted to see them play. We talked about how effective that is against Tennessee. It's kind of a known thing at this point that that's a very effective front plan. And sure enough, we were in it the entire game just about. Absolutely textbook, phenomenal scheme. Really well done. Yet again, here's AA on the sideline. Roberts is up top. Again, I don't know if AA is getting more involved with the scheme or what's going on or what the changes have been since the bye week, but they are working. The scheme makes so much more sense than it did before. I don't know what the difference is, but keep it going. Because not only were we running that, but we were putting all kinds of different alignments up front. We were mixing up the D line. We kind of sometimes had all 6 guys up at the line standing up, right? And like they didn't know what was coming at them, right? And we had the backers doing a great job at making the front very confusing and hard to read. I guarantee that was giving Nico fits about what was going on, and not really knowing and trying to read coverages and blitzes and, adjusting for things that may have been there. It might have been simulated. It might not have been. I promise you that was very, very difficult for him to figure out. Phenomenal job from a scheme standpoint. Just beautiful. Again, as Randy mentioned, great play from the defensive line. Cam Jackson and Caleb Banks were living in that backfield, right? It was great to get Slackman back, though I didn't see him make any significant contribution that I could see. I'm not sure how much he played. I don't have a snap count on it. But I know just from a rotational standpoint, it was good to have him back in. Saw Big Dez in there clogging some stuff up a lot of the time, though I don't think he got a lot of go time either in this game, which was smart because we know if Tennessee gets on a drive, you can't sub him out, as was an issue in last year's game, right? So I think that was a smart call to not get him in the rotation too much. But I have to call out the edges. Pyburn, as Randy already mentioned, and Sapp. Sapp may not have had a ton of tackles in this game, but he was all over the place when he was in there. He was affecting guys. He was pushing guys off their blocks. He was jamming up holes. The D-line just did a great job of jamming up the lanes so that Sampson didn't have anywhere to go and therefore was able to be bottled up consistently. That was what was so impressive. If you watched the game, what you saw was whenever Tennessee tried to run up the middle, they went nowhere. I mean, nowhere. The only time they gained anything significant is when they got outside of the right or left tackle and either went all the way to the sideline or actually, just was able to make a cut and get outside of the actual tackle box and then get downfield. It's the only time they gained any significant yardage in the run game. There was nothing going on up the middle of the field. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Textbook run defense. Could not have drawn it up any better. So I'll leave it at that for that piece of it. Again, linebackers and defensive ends in the pass rush game looked phenomenal. We already talked about the sacks. Randy mentioned that. 8 tackles for loss and 3 sacks against a very mobile quarterback. It's not easy to sack him. He gets away. He's big. He's athletic. He's talented. He's not, going to just get pushed over. He doesn't go down easy. And perhaps best of all, as Randy mentioned, we held an offense that was averaging 267 yards per game rushing to 143 and 519 yards a game in total offense to over 200 below their average at 312 yards.
Oh, yeah.
That is just ridiculously good. I mean, really? That's so good. I don't even have words for it. I mean, that is just phenomenal stuff. I'll also give the secondary credit. They were much better this week. I know we saw them get burned over the top a couple of times, but it wasn't because they blew coverages. It was because they were in coverage, and then sometimes they just got run by. Maybe the route fooled them or whatever, but they weren't not covering the guy. There was coverage assigned, and there they just got beat. And that's different. I can live with you getting beat sometimes, especially against Tennessee. These are fast receivers. That's what Heupel likes to recruit, right? These guys, they're going to beat you sometimes. Fortunately, Nico missed those throws in pretty much every case, except for one that did get caught. But then there was phenomenal coverage by Devin Moore pushing the receiver out of bounds so that he couldn't actually, get credit for that catch. Great recovery by him. But overall, there was somebody at least running with the guy. He wasn't wide open, right? He may have had a step or two, but he wasn't, you knew it wasn't a blown coverage is what I'm trying to say. Overall, it's by far one of the best defensive performances I've seen from UF in a really, really long time. Last week we said it was several years. This might be a decade. I mean, this was absolutely textbook. So many times I'm watching stuff happen, stopping the run on first, stopping the run on second, and then playing to perfection the pass on third down, 3 and out, gone. Over and over and over again. I mean, it was just so good. And even when we did get up some yardage on the first few plays, it didn't matter because then they clamped down and shut them down again. Time and time and time again, series after series, this defense stepped up and played just phenomenal football. I can't say enough about it. I'm over the moon for it. If they keep playing like this, I will continue to say we are a tough out for anybody, even with a completely anemic offense, which I hope we aren't. I hope DJ helps that. And it's not to say that Graham wasn't trying to. It's not anything against Graham. Anybody would be handcuffed by these play calls. It's not about that. it is not at all his fault. But I think DJ still adds another element that potentially is more dynamic and maybe gives us a little chance to be just a smidge better on that side of the ball. And with even just a smidge better on that's all it would have taken in this game, just a smidge better on that side of the ball, right? Or being able to count to 11. But we'll get back to that later.
Oh,
okay.
Boy.
Yeah, there we go. Yet again. All right, to that end, let's talk visor throw. Yeah, here we go. All right. Hope everybody's ready. Take a little breath before this one. Okay.
Goose Faba.
Yeah, indeed. Goose Fraba. So we should have won this game going away. This shouldn't have even been close. We had multiple opportunities in the first half to get a touchdown, much less field goals, and got neither. As Randy mentioned, first 4 trips to the red zone, nothing. Our defense kept us in this game way, way longer than we should have been in this game. Again, we just talked about it, played phenomenal. Held this team to way under their average. Again, I already mentioned it, 44 points, allowed them 17 in regulation, only 23 overall. That's basically half, right, of what they are supposed to score, in theory anyway. And yet, we find a way to lose. How is it that we managed to do that exactly? Wow. That's all I have to say is wow. Convert once and you win. That's it. Just once. Just one time. And normally people would say, yeah, but it doesn't work that way. In this game, I actually think it would have. To your point, I think most of the time that's probably true that, yeah, you get one touchdown or especially one field goal, that the dynamics of the game change and the offense plays differently on the other side and yada, yada, yada. That's true. Those are true statements when you say those things, right? That the other team is going to play differently and it doesn't necessarily mean you win the game. However, with the way our defense played in this game, I believe it would have just given them even more energy and they might have not even gotten 17 points. If you were watching how they were playing, I don't even know. They were out of their minds. And I am telling you, if we could have just been even moderately effective on offense as far as points go, I think we win this game easily. And it's just such a shame. So that's point 1. 2, as mentioned, special teams can't count yet again. I am floored that this happened. Absolutely floored. I thought we had this buttoned up. Joe, I'm disappointed. Joe Houston is who I'm talking to. I thought we were good there. How does this happen? How does this happen yet again? As I mentioned in the offseason, there is zero forgiveness for this. This is absolute garbage. It's unacceptable. Somebody needs to be fired now. The answer, who we already know, is Billy, but let's fire somebody else while we're at it. This cannot happen. Period. Unacceptable. What do we get the mat for? We all know about the mat that has the 11 spots on it for people to stand on to run on the field. What happened? Did that not make the trip to Neyland? What the heck's going on? Unreal. Just mind-blowing when I heard we had 12 guys on the field for that play. I almost threw things through the wall. Okay. Not going for 2 to win the game when you've blown countless opportunities to score. But yeah, sure. I'm sure you'll do fine in overtime, Billy. Great call. And because they called a timeout when you ran your swinging gate formation, oh, well, then I don't have any other plays I can run. That's probably true, actually. Probably doesn't have any other plays he can run because he only got about 14 in the playbook. So, that was 15, and then he was out. So page 16 is blank. So I guess he just didn't have anything else there. That's probably what it was. I guess that does make sense after all now that I think about it. What happened to scared money don't make money? Where'd that go? Because all I ever see with this guy is scared money. I guess he doesn't like making money. I feel like we pay him enough. But maybe not. I don't know. Because sure seems like scared money is all he knows. I know there's been a lot of talk on the internet on that, but Randy and I both texted when that play happened that night that is the definition of scared money. How do you not go for the win on the road after you've blown countless chances in the red zone already in this game. And for those who don't know, in college overtime, you start on the 25, effectively in the red zone. So, okay, magically now we're just going to get it right. Oh yeah, I'm sure that's what'll happen. Okay, yeah, let's count on that. Unbelievable. Last but not least, certainly, most of all, the inconsistent offensive play calling that we've talked about so much that cost us more than anything in this game, without question. More than any of those other things I just mentioned, time and time and time again, as I've already said, it just continues to show why Billy is not the solution and has to go. The sooner, the better. As I've already stated, I'm not going to stop saying it. I'm going to keep calling for it. And it's really important that I make this clear because it's brought to my attention that maybe I hadn't prior. Even if we go 8-4 from here, which I think is highly unlikely now, but even if we do that and make the playoff, I still think Napier should be fired. Let me be clear. Without question, I think he should be fired, even in that scenario. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. But even if it does, I, without question, unequivocally think Napier should be fired because of what he put on film yet again for the umpteenth time in this game, as yet just another example for what he put on film last week in the second half against UCF, for what he's shown the propensity to allow and do, and shown with the team against games like Texas A&M and Miami and the defense in Mississippi State, and I can go on and on and on and on. It is simply not good enough for us to win a championship. I said at the beginning of this season, before this season started, that I still saw a path to a national title with Billy Napier. Let me be very clear. I no longer see a path. And I haven't since game 3 of this season. And that is why I'm calling for him to be gone. And the sooner we do it, the better we are, because we're that much closer to finding our replacement. Period. That's all I got. Where you at with visor throw, bud?
That's pretty dirty.
Yeah.
That's a lot of throws.
1 or 2.
But guess what? All valid. All valid. Let me start with my first. You have second possession, poor blocking on the 3rd and 1, which set up Smack, right, for that field goal. But it was longer than it should have been. But that 3rd and 1 with the poor blocking and the push up front, or the lack of push we had, that should have been a first down.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been. But here's the other more crucial thing about that possession. If you don't remember, field position mattered because when we started that drive, we were at our own 49.
Yeah.
Short field. Got to capitalize on that.
Yep.
The one bad thing I'll say about Mertz, fumble on the 1-yard line. That was what it was. But here's how ironic this is. Mertz fumbles on the 1, but yet when you have DJ Lagway in the game, and again, different situation, 1-yard line versus 4th downs, DJ Lagway is in the game.
4th and 1, though, so 1 yard to gain. So similar in that regard.
Right. He's in the game with both 4th down possessions. And one, we do a cute jet sweep. And the other, a slant. Both to Trey. We'll talk about the slant later. But at the end of the day, 4th and short, we go to a jet sweep and a slant. Interesting. Very interesting. So that is what it is. Leaving 14 to 17 points in the first. B, how many points did you think we left in the first half, given either a touchdown or a field goal? Did you say 14?
Minimum we left 10 on the absolute minimum. We left 10 on the field. But I say we left 14.
Minimum 10. Okay, I'll take that. Absolutely. Cannot leave points on the field, period. I feel like this offense has done it time and time again.
Yeah.
Giving up a 10-0 lead or 10-point lead period at Neyland. Giving up 10 points in a minute 30 seconds in the third quarter to get Tennessee right back up, right back momentum. Unreal. UF's fifth possession. Take a step back. UF's fifth possession started from their own 11-yard line. Okay. And this was obviously end of the second quarter. Started from the 11. We had some long drives in this game, which was good to see. We made it within field goal range. But seriously, like you said, B, 12 men on the field? Like, is this Groundhog Day? Like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
And not to mention, because we burned a timeout earlier,
Yep.
right? Guess what? We couldn't call a timeout. We couldn't stop the clock because of the penalty. We had a 10-second runoff.
Yeah.
So into halftime we go. Do we go in with the lead? Sure. Should the lead have been more? Yes. Absolutely. Did that kind of one thing I was worried about was that bumbling, stumbling, fumbling, was that going to cause some momentum on Tennessee's side? Right? Definitely worried about that. So be that as it may. Tennessee made adjustments coming out of half. Why can we not seem to adjust? Why can't we seem to make a tweak? Why can't we seem to say, hey, you know what? But I will give him credit for one thing. And you know what that is, B? Because we messaged about it. It was supposed to be Graham's possession coming out of halftime.
Yes.
Did you give it to DJ? He did.
Yep.
He gave it to
He did do
Lagway.
that.
I'll take it.
Yep.
But at the same time, I definitely do not like the series of plays that Lagway had to start the third quarter.
Agreed.
Just backed him up. Okay. Terrible. Terrible. Florida was 12-3 leading at the half under Napier before this game. Odd fact. Tennessee was 1-12 trailing at the half under Heupel. What? Okay. We talked about the jet sweep. Talked about the jet sweep on 4th and 1. Talked about the jet sweep. I'll just say it again. The damn jet sweep on 4th and 1 when DJ is your quarterback. Going for 2. We got a little bit of momentum. We got a little shocker. Shock and awe. The shock was the touchdown pass. The awe would have been a 2-point conversion. How in the world do you think you're just going to tie the game up, go into overtime, and all of a sudden have a resurgence of offense to all of a sudden, hey, it's going to happen now? Because between the last time we scored and that touchdown to tie up the game, we kind of had 5 possessions where it kind of didn't go well. Okay? So I'll just say it like that.
Yeah.
We completely agree. Scared money. That money's scared, all right. I mean, there's no other way to put it, right? If that's the moniker that you came in with, what is going on, B? What's going on? You've been good with leadership. You've been good with culture. Your players like playing for you. Your staff is on point. This is on point. There's a whole bunch of things organizationally and culturally. But between the white lines on the offensive side of the football, we got a bit of an issue. It's so damn scared. Not even funny.
Yep.
The last thing I'll say is, and this is along with the last thing I'll say is, should Tennessee have lost, which it should have, it dropped their chances of making the playoffs to 14%. But now they're up to 84% going in.
No, 52. 52.
Oh, is it 52?
Yeah, 52 is what they bound. They only went up a little. Beating us only helped them marginally. It was losing to us that would have creamed them.
Okay. So maybe I read that wrong. I apologize. Because that was the
all
other
good.
Thing. Holy smokes. Because I much rather prefer 14. Okay.
Yep.
Just saying. But anyways.
Yep. No, but still, yeah, they were at 46
Point
or
taken.
44 or something like that after losing to Arkansas, something in that neighborhood. I don't remember exactly. It was some of that neighborhood, and they only went up to 52 by beating us, but they would have gone, as you mentioned, to 14% if they lost. That was correct. So yeah, it's brutal. It's just brutal. And there's just no reason we didn't win. I mean, other than we, the reasons that we've already given. So there you go. There's no reason we should have not won. How about that? There are reasons we didn't win, but there you go. All right.
Bingo.
So moving on, let's talk recruiting. Any notes there from you? Obviously, I know a big one, but other than that, or go ahead with that if you've got it.
No, you say outside of the big, and I've got nothing else.
Okay, yeah. So obviously, yet another flip this past week. Lost 4-star. Well, depending on their service, I think On3 actually still has him as a 3-star.
They do,
which is weird, but I think he's definitely going to come up. Mr. Moore out of Miami there, receiver, who looked to be very promising for this class. Now, we obviously do have 2 other strong commits in Montgomery and, of course, Pernell Brown, the third for the receiver class. So it's still a strong receiving class, so this doesn't kill it, but it was a really strong receiving class before this. And he has flipped to Miami. We said last week that there could be more after the one we already saw, and here is yet another. I don't see this stopping. I'm worried this could be one of the worst recruiting classes we've seen in a really long time. I'm going to put it out there right now. I'm very concerned. And frankly, the longer we wait to part ways with Billy, the worse this potentially gets. Because the longer you wait to fire your coach, the longer you have to wait to hire your new coach, and the harder it gets to get kids signed on early signing day, which is like 15 days after the season ends, if that. So tell me, if you wait until after Florida State to fire Napier, because all indications point to the fact that that is what is likely going to happen. That's what we're hearing. That's what we're seeing, because yet again, we didn't fire him today. Makes no sense. All indications are you fire him after the season's over, then you give your new guy, what, a week like he had? How'd his class work out? He did pretty well with it, considering. I'll give him that. We were ranked in the 70s, and he brought it up to like the low 20s, which is pretty good for a week. But that's what he had. I guess it was 2 weeks. Sorry. He had like 2 weeks. And remember, we fired Mullen in season. So, little different. If you only have a week to hire somebody, one, what's that hire going to be like if you hire him that fast? And if you don't, is your interim coach doing your signing class for you? How's that going to go? None of this looks good. None of this looks good. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't care if Lane's posting pictures of Gators in the swamp or not. I don't like it. I don't like it. And for the record, I'm not high on Lane. Put that out there now. We'll have that conversation another time, but I'm not high on Lane.
He's also not releasing his injury report, but whatever. He's going to comply with, guidelines.
Oh, he's not complying with the guidelines?
Oh yeah, there was a little snippet about that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, there you go again. Just yet more things that don't sit well with me with Lane. But anyway, we'll move along. All right. So nothing else besides that from you on recruiting, on hatchlings, I should say.
Unfortunately, that's it. Yeah, but
yeah, just not good news, and certainly no new signings yet again. Shocker. Moving along. All right, let's talk a little pride of the sunshine here. What do you got on the culture side of things?
You know what? So a couple things here. They came out ready to play.
Yeah, they did.
Especially the defense. They were fired up. They were bouncing around. I saw AA on the sideline acting like a wild man, and I'm sorry, that's just a good thing.
Yes, it is.
In general.
Yes, it is.
It's just a great thing, I hated seeing Mertz on the sideline coming out of the locker room in street clothes in the boot, but it was amazing to see all the players coming over, dabbing him up, hugging him, loving on him. You can tell who he is by the footage we saw on the sideline, and you can tell who he is, what he means to this team in the post that he made on social media today.
That's right.
And I couldn't have said it better myself. He's a true class act. And believe it or not, when you look at what this team was and the things that were going wrong a couple of years ago, again, was he the ideal choice to come in here? No, but he was exactly what we needed when we needed it, to at least be a little bit of glue to hold some things together. So that was what it was. The fight. I think I mentioned this before, but 101,900, almost 102,000 people in Neyland, and we come out there locked in. Whatever we did to get this locked in for a game, can we please do it again? Like, I'd
Yeah,
like some more,
please.
please. Because it didn't seem, no matter what that crowd threw, whatever happened, I mean, again, especially on the defense side of the football, we did a lot of things well. And more often than not, when you do a lot of things well like that, you win a football game, which we arguably should have won. But outside of that, when you look at some of the players that spoke at the podium after the game, outside of Billy, I'm just focusing on players right now. Everybody, high on Mertz. Really treats him with a lot of respect, which he's earned it. Don't get me wrong, but also very excited to see what's going to happen with DJ moving forward. First team reps, first rep. He is QB1. Clay Millen, no disrespect to you, right? But I'm just curious to see what this does for our offense moving forward. Do we take 16 plays, to your point, B? Do we take 16 plays and turn them into 24, 30, whatever the number? I hope that they rally around him just like Napier told them to at the Samford game. I hope they rally around him in a big way, and I hope we have the opportunity to see a snippet of what he can really do and what this team overall can do with momentum. Because I'm telling you, when you win games, it builds momentum, and it does some funny things. And we could have been on a 3-game win streak. We got to start over.
Yeah, we do. And except for the next game going into the gauntlet of the schedule, and heck, maybe even the next game's, part of that gauntlet with the way Billy likes to play against Stoops. So, unfortunately, I hate saying that, but he has not exactly been at his coaching best against old Mark. And Mark seems to be at his best against Billy, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say that, but he seems to really put forward a good effort against him. So, but maybe he blew that against, Kiffin this year. So we can hope. Anyway, I totally agree with you. Players once again came out to play 2 weeks in a row now. Effort is just outstanding, really, on both sides of the ball, to be honest. Despite the lack of creativity and aggressiveness on offense, they still executed and played with energy and effort on that side of the ball. And obviously defensively, oh my goodness, even when we went down 7, right? Even when we lost the lead and went down 7 in Knoxville, as you mentioned, with that crowd then going into an absolute frenzy, we lose our starting QB, we lose our starting running back, and they all just keep fighting. And we come back, we don't give up any more points, we tie the game up in the final seconds. We don't let them get anything on that last drive, by the way, where they had a chance to. We don't allow that.
Great call.
Which is phenomenal, too. And then despite all of the efforts of Billy's play calling to have us outright lose, we still force overtime. So that's effort, that's dedication, and that is heart. And I love it. So, again, for everything he gets wrong as an OC, he gets it right with program culture. I will never not give him credit for it. He's phenomenal at it. He gets kids in there that want to be here, that want to play for each other and for this team and for this school. And I have called that out since day one. And I do think that is something that he really has as a part of a formula that is fantastic. The problem is the other parts of his formula don't math. He's got variables that don't compute on the rest of it is the problem. But that
error code.
Yeah, exactly. You drop it into the Excel sheet and you get the NA, right? Or the value. it doesn't show up. Nope. But that piece of that formula is spot on, man. He's really got that down. I love watching these kids come out and play every week. That is just phenomenal to see. It makes me smile. Really does. Great to see it. Love to see it. It's just such a good group. It's just really, really great stuff. So hope we continue to see that. Hope they can keep their spirit and their hearts in this going forward, because we're going to need them to, especially as we continue going forward through this gauntlet that's upcoming. possibly counting this game upcoming and certainly beyond. So with that, let's move on, talk some officiating. Yeah, a little move back, you suck.
Ew.
I'm pretty high on the refs in this game, man. I thought they were solid, which I'm very happy to say. I thought of some of the best officiating I've seen, certainly this year and maybe in quite some time. Only beef I have really, honestly, for most of the game that really stood out to me is that second fourth down attempt, as you said, that we talked about. Obviously, we chatted about it when it happened, but I'll call it out now. The quick slant to Trey from DJ in the second half. The contact on the ball was clean. The defender came over Trey's shoulder and did make clean contact with the ball. However, he did get to the receiver early. You could see that he made contact with Trey before he made contact with the ball, so he was to the receiver early. However, very bang bang. I can totally see how it wasn't flagged. By the letter of the law, it is PI, but I mean, I get it. And again, they were super clean. I was very happy to see a good showing by the officials after some very poor showings and some very bizarre calls in the past few weeks. So I was really happy to see it. I didn't object to basically anything. For the most part, I thought they pretty much got it right. No real issues here. They went back and reviewed what they should have reviewed. They did the things that made sense. They didn't call targeting on that stupid blindside block on the kickoff, which was a dumb penalty by us. But they didn't call the targeting, which they shouldn't have. It was good. They got it right for the most part. And listen, something like this, I'm going to mention it because I do think that would have been technically the correct call. But do I think that they blew it by not calling it? No, not at all. So I'm not going to give a real hard time there. Anything you want to bring up that you feel like was missed there, or anything about the performance overall there?
No, you're good. This is actually, with the exception of the back judge and the umpire, this is a very solid crew. Those of you probably remember the Tennessee game last year at the Swamp where the umpire kicked the football, had to be reset, and it caused a whole stir with substitutions and this, that, and the other. Never seen that done before, by the way. Anyways, I agree with you. He just made contact with Trey a little too early. And if you saw, yeah, true, he defended the ball with his left hand, but the right hand did have him by the hip some. And yes, it was a bang bang. But at the end of the day, don't put the official in that type of position to be forced to make, as I was told in a game one time or two or 10, you have to throw that. No, I don't. But at the end of the day, you see what you see, and hopefully you make it, you make the most accurate call you can. Outside of that, it's hard, man. I mean, especially on a kickoff, by the way, no kickoff returns in this game, all touchbacks. Especially on a touchback, you're seeing a blindside block, which wasn't a complete blindside. I get it. They're trying to protect players, keep them safe, this, that, and the other. I'm sorry, you play football. I know back in the days they would say football is a contact sport. I'm sorry, that's wrong. Football is a collision sport, period.
Yep.
And we love it. So if you're worried about safety, I get it. There are techniques with the shoulder, with your hips. I get that. You don't spear. You don't use the crown of your helmet. No problem. But at the end of the day, it's a collision sport, people. It's dangerous. It causes certain things. Okay? Okay, done. I got that out of the way. Thanks to my son, who's on Instagram. I am not. He showed me an interesting snapshot of two images where it looked like Tennessee D-line were lined up well off the ball into the neutral zone. So I'm going,
in the neutral zone? Interesting.
Yeah. So the caption, I believe, according to his IG post was, so apparently we're not calling offsides anymore. So I thought that was interesting because, again, from if you were there, maybe you saw it on the TV, maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. It was really quick, but two different shots of two Tennessee D linemen on the left side of the ball, both lined up well ahead. So that was interesting. Outside of that, that's all I got, B.
All right, fair enough. That is interesting, and they were getting off the ball pretty quick, so that is interesting. All right, let's move on to the wrap up here. What do you got? Talk to me about where you think the team's at and where we go from here.
Winning creates momentum, creates good vibes, good feelings, this, that, and the other. Tough game to lose it this way. Tough game to lose your starting running back and your starting quarterback. Okay.
Yeah.
Trell's not lost, but he's probably going to be out for a few games, couple games,
Yeah.
depending on how severe the leg injury is, right? Graham's gone. We know that.
Yep.
Outside of that, and I think I mentioned this to you earlier, if this is how the defense is, because Billy talks about all the time, what kind of football? Complementary. Complementary.
Yep.
Okay. So the defense is now going to show up. Okay. Did it take 4 weeks for us to put mics on the defensive players to figure out who was missing an assignment, who's being vocal, who's not being vocal, who's whiffing? Put mics on the offense as well. I don't know. Put mics on everybody, whatever it took. Because I'm telling you, this defense has looked so different the past 2 games. And it has given us more than enough opportunities to win. To your point, B. So we're 3-3. We are 3-3. Let's just take the next 3 snippets at a time, next 3 games at a time, 3-3, right? The next 3 games, 7, 8, 9. UK, at the Swamp, UGA, Jacksonville, and at Texas. We need this defense to do what they've been doing to continue that trend, to have a shot. And we need DJ. We need the team to get around DJ. That offensive line, he needs to do whatever Tom Brady did with his offensive line. I'm not saying he's got to buy him tractors, take him out to dinner every night on the Amex Black. All I'm saying is find a way to rally around him, protect him, and give him the things that he needs to succeed as a young quarterback still processing. Really curious to see how the next few games pan out. Let's start with a win here coming up this weekend in the Swamp against the Wildcats. Let's set them down.
Yeah. No, well said on all facets. I very much agree with your first sentiment and your last, and certainly those in between as well, really. But your first and your last especially. So very similar thoughts on the game. Really hard pill to swallow because we know we should have won it. We know we should have won it. However, I will say we competed with a team that we were expected by all the experts, quote unquote, love that term, to get smoked by, right? Vegas and everybody else. I don't know if you saw game day. Literally the entire panel picked Tennessee to win.
Everybody.
Yeah, they were right, but barely, and they shouldn't have been, right? So I think if you think back to our pod last week, we called for this game to be closer than the experts thought, and we gave Florida a chance to win. So just saying, I'm not saying we're smarter than all those guys, but we dial in on Florida football, and we know what to expect with this team and where things are going. So, and we're usually pretty in tune with what to expect out of this team, and where we think things are going to fall for them in most cases. We were certainly off to start the season. We didn't see that coming, but I won't say we did. But for the most part, we're pretty dialed in with what we think we should expect. If certain things go certain ways, and if this defense, to your point, keeps playing like this, it's going to keep us in a lot of games, as we've already mentioned. The one thing I really hoped for this week was better production out of Billy as a play caller. And I really did. I mentioned it, right? He's been historically better against Tennessee for whatever reason, at least at times. He was really better 2 years ago. Last year, he was better in the first half until he shut it down, right, to play the more conservative and play ball control. And we didn't get that at all. Again, a play here, a play there. But for the most part, this was as conservative as we've seen him in many instances across the board. I don't know if that's because he was trying to keep with that mentality of not turning into a track meet or what, but man, it was just not good. But again, on the flip side, the defense was just out of this world. It's just out of this world, as we've, of course, discussed at length. So a very mixed bag of emotions here. I love how the players played. I love how the defense showed out. And I even love how the offense did things at times, right? How they executed, really, in most cases, a lot of cases, maybe not all, but a lot of them. And yet, they were handcuffed. And so at the end of the day, we hated how it ended up. So it's like, man, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We lost. Damn. Like, that's just hard. That's just hard. Feeling good about the game all along, even feeling good about it when we were, when we got down and we're still fighting. And then we come back and tie it. And it's like, yes, go for the win, Billy. And then I see him looking like he's going to do it. And then he doesn't. Just killer. Killer. The long and the short of it is, we can't go into the second bye week under 500. We have to beat Kentucky. We have to do it. He's got to get over the hump. and beat Kentucky. I can't believe I'm saying these things. He can't go 0-3 against Kentucky. We can't lose 4 in a row to UK. I'm going to vomit.
Oh boy.
Oh, I mean, like speaking these things. So to
Hairball.
that end, that's where we're at. Let's move on. Let's talk keep it or pitch it. But yeah, we have. I said that, but we have to be 4-3 going into the bye. We cannot be under 500. The back half of this schedule, as we have talked about at length, is brutal. Those last 5 games, expecting us to do any better than 2-3, really hoping for us to do any better than 2-3 is just not realistic. Not at all. Too many good teams. Frankly, 2-3 may not happen, but that's at least reasonable to hope for. So if we're not 500, above 500, excuse me, then you can forget about being 500 for the season. It just won't happen. So that's my take anyway. All right. Keep it or pitch it. Let's talk. Go through last week's results here. I went 1-2. You went 2-1. Very nice job. Even things up. We are now both 9-9 for the season and an even 500. Speaking of 500, very nicely done. Let's go through it.
Don't call it a comeback.
That's right. That's right. You have made a nice comeback early on here. Tennessee's defense is ranked number 2 of the nation, allowing 227.6 yards per game. Florida's as averaging 411.2 yards of offense per game, number 60 in the nation. The Florida offense will produce at least 390 yards of offense. We were close, 361. I kept it. You pitched it. You got it right. That's the differentiator here. So very nicely done. It was borderline. We almost got there, but we did not quite do it. Florida is averaging 268.6 passing yards per game, 35th in the nation. Tennessee is allowing an average of 159.6. Mertz and Lagwell will throw for 275. Again, close, not quite as close. We did 223. We both kept it. We were both wrong. This was your only miss, my second miss. And then, last but not least, Tennessee's rushing offense averaging 267.2 yards per game, number 5 in the nation. Florida's defense is allowing 172.6. Yeah, we're averaging less than that now. Number 101 in the nation, which is crazy that it's that high. Florida's defense will hold Tennessee under 200 yards rushing. Yeah, we did that, 143. So we both kept it. We were both right. Very good stuff. Again, we were both kind of thinking that Florida had a shot to, if not win, keep it close. And based on those projections, we were almost there. So real close. All right, so let's do some keep it or pitch it for Kentucky.
Ew.
So number 1, Kentucky has completed 30 of 73 third downs this year. That's a 41.1% conversion rate for number 65 in the country. Gators defense will hold Kentucky to under 40% third down conversions. Keep it or pitch it.
As much as I want to keep it, I will pitch.
Oh, wow. Really? As good as this defense been playing. Well, we're going to disagree. We're going to disagree there, sir. I'm keeping that one. I'm keeping that one. We will hold them under 40. I don't know if it'll be under 35, but we're going to hold them under 40 for sure. I feel pretty confident in that one. All right.
Very good.
All right. So we differ early already. All right. Kentucky is averaging 153.3 rushing yards per game, number 75 in the country. The Gators are allowing 167.7, so that's down another 5 yards per game after last week. Which is now number 96 in the country, moving on down there. The Gators defense will hold Kentucky to under 135 yards rushing. It's a pretty low number. Kentucky likes to run the ball. Keep it or pitch it.
After what we did to UCF and what we did to Tennessee, I'm going to keep that number.
I'm pitching it. Again, it's razor thin. It's really close, but Kentucky is a good rushing team. Again, they're averaging 153.3, and they've also played some pretty good defenses throughout that time. They've got some decent teams that have been on their schedule already. I'm pitching it. It's razor thin, though. I think it's very similar to what we gave up here, something in the 140s, below their average, but just above 135. So it's right on the cusp, but I'm going to pitch it barely. Very close here. All right, Kentucky is allowing 251.5 yards per game, number 4 defense in the country. Does this sound familiar? Something similar to what we were at last week. What was Tennessee ranked here? Number 5? Oh no, they were number 2. They were number 2 in the nation. Okay. All right. The Gators are averaging 402.8 yards of offense per game. And we said 390 last week. We're going to say 380 this week. We'll produce 380 yards. Now, this is funny. It's just funny. We dropped 7 yards per game average and went up a spot in rank. Just
Right.
That's kind of funny. All right. So the Gators produce 380 yards of total offense. Keep it or pitch it.
Keep it, baby.
It's hilarious. I'm pitching it. All right, we're back to disagreeing on everything. Good. I like it. That's how it should be.
Smokes,
That's how it should be.
man.
Again, razor thin. I think we're very similar to what we produced this week. Again, it's a top tier defense we're playing. And even though I like Lagway and the upside he brings, I think freshman quarterback against a good defense here. This is a good defense. I think he will have a few struggles. Not that he won't do well, but that he will have a few struggles. And I think we're somewhere 350-ish neighborhood, 340, 350, something like that. I also think not having Terrell for this game is a little bit of an issue. I think he would potentially provide some good stuff here. I think we're going to have a lot of trouble getting the ground game going against this defense. I think a lot is going to unfortunately have to be put on DJ, and I think that makes it a little tougher. Not to say he can't do it. I have all the faith in the world in him, but I just think it's going to make the numbers a little bit lower because of that. So to that end, there's the keep it or pitch it. Let's go to the sim notes here. This one was kind of weird. So first of all, we went 6-4. So very back and forth, which aligns with what Vegas has this game at, right? They almost have it as a pick 'em. They got us favored at -1 right now. But here's what's interesting. So I actually had to look really hard. Randy and I were talking about the results of this beforehand. What was interesting was, first of all, our margin of victory in the wins was almost 20 points per game, 19.8. But our margin of loss, their margin of victory in our losses was 7.5. So the wins were much bigger than the losses as far as things went there. However, 3 of the 10 games, 3 out of 10 sims went to overtime. That's wild. 3 of 10? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. So the game is very undecided as to who the outcome is, who the overall winner is here, right? And 6-4, almost even, right? Very, very much a coin flip. However, here is the stat that really stood out when we really looked at everything. And I had to really go back and forth on this because the usual metrics that I look at didn't really tell any stories. I didn't see anything defensively or offensively that really stood out. There were some games where they had better performances rushing and or throwing the ball, and then they won. And then there were other games where they had similar outputs and lost. So I'm like, what is the deal? Like, what is really showing me something that is really telltale? And the answer is total points per game. So here it is. In our wins, the average total score was just over 50 points per game combined, right, from both teams. And in our losses, it was 36.5. So there is your telltale stat. We want more points. So Vegas currently has the over-under in this game at 42.5. That's good for us because I would say anything over 40, right, we're probably in good shape. So if they come right around that over-under, and Vegas is pretty good at picking that number, I would say we're probably okay. But closer we get to 45, the better we are. So root for scoring. We need scoring, which, of course, with our offense the way it is, I don't know. But we need scoring. The more points, the better. Because in this game, with it being probably a closer outcome, though the more we score, probably the more we lead by, because they're not capable of putting up a ton of points. They just don't have that in them, especially against quality competition this year. Look at who they played, right? And the points they put up against decent teams, it's a very low number. Very low number. So the better quality opponents they play, they don't score a lot, right? So that makes sense, right? When you see here. So the games they won here, they didn't score a lot. The games they lost here, we scored a lot more, right? That's the showing here, and what really does make sense and kind of pans out. So long story short, higher the overall score, better chances for us to win by a large margin. So root for points. That's the long and the short of it. I think that's pretty much all I've got. Again, great fun as always to bring this to you. Great therapy, of course, after a tough loss, but really enjoyed it as we always do, trying to talk about the importance of bringing good, reliable information as we talk about each week, and also just the love of Gator football. So we continue to really enjoy doing this and really have a great time with it. Any closing thoughts you have on the week or anything else?
That's it, my man. Outside of that, we'll look forward to beating up on the Wildcats, having them choke up on their own hairball this Saturday, the 19th. And we will
Yep.
talk about it next Monday, the 21st.
Yes, we
And
will. And
make
I
sure
do
you,
want, I'm sorry to cut you off. I do want to say one thing. Anybody that has been or was impacted by the storm, thoughts go out to you for sure.
oh,
Obviously,
yeah.
that was a heck of a thing. We should have probably commented on it earlier, but we hope everybody's doing well with the recovery and the cleanup efforts. Hopefully, you have power. If not, I know there are people that are still without, so hopefully that gets turned back on soon. And just know everybody's thinking about you and doing all we can to hopefully continue to get better and get through this thing. So I did want to make mention of that because obviously we know a lot of people were affected by it. Either one of the storms for that matter. We know
Yeah,
Helene hit a lot of people too. So yeah, just wanted to call that out before we ended here. Sorry to interrupt.
for sure. No, you got it, B. That was it. So, Gator Nation, I tell you what, wherever you are, wherever you may be listening, thank you for taking the time, and we will see you around, Gator Nation.